Hi, everybody. Welcome to Am I the Asshole podcast. I'm Danny Vega here with my lovely co-host, Sarah Levine. Sarah, how are you?
Surviving, not thriving, but it is what it is. Also, I'm here virtually. I feel like that needs to be stated for the record.
It doesn't anymore. In our new culture, we don't need to say that. Everyone is home. Everyone's being good. I don't know.
People are there are even some people in the group still that are like, well, if you guys are staying home, I want to see you keep this same energy during flu season. I'm like, okay. Honestly, I will. If you want me to stay home during flu season, I don't have a problem with that.
So annoying. We're joined by our special guest, one of many, as we are doing the call-in show where people call in using Zoom. We're sponsored by Zoom. We're really not, but everyone's talking about them anyway.
I wish.
Lauren, it's so great to have you on the show.
Quite the pleasure.
Lauren is our super excited Patreon member. I don't know. I don't know what happened to her energy.
I've never been on a podcast before, okay? I don't know what to do with my hands.
I still don't know what to do. It's fine.
So explain to the listeners a little bit. You are you are a doctor, but you're not like a, hi, I'm sick. Hi, Lauren, I'm sick kind of doctor. What kind of doctor are you?
Yeah, as one of my old friends put it, I'm not the type of doctor you want in an emergency. So I have a PhD in physiology and I do cardiovascular research. So like tangentially related to COVID now, but I really know nothing about viruses, which Danny will probably point out in about 2 seconds.
Someone in Lauren's family, I used to always go to her with my medical problems. And so now Lauren has become that person. So it's kind of a curse. If you know me, you might become that person for me. And I was ranting to you about the coronavirus insanely in late February.
Well, actually, to be fair, you were ranting about it on the podcast. I was at work listening to you rant and I was like, man, like you're not, I think what I said is like, you're not allowed to freak out about the coronavirus if you haven't even had your like yearly flu shot, which I
think that's fair.
It is pretty fair, honestly, even though it was the middle of February. I think that still actually holds up by quite a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Now you're allowed to freak out though.
Yes.
Flu shot or not, everyone's freaking out. Yeah. We're all doing it.
So now my hypochondriacs know officially from a doctor, not the kind of doctor that you want in an emergency, but a doctor nonetheless, we are allowed to freak out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not allowed to go into work, which is ironic because like scientists are the ultimate social distancers. Like I was in a room with gloves on, like by myself, and I still wasn't allowed to do that as of like last Thursday.
Wow.
Oh my God. So you don't think that would have been, there was no risk there at all?
I mean, there's always a risk, but for me, like just myself, like walking to work and then, like touching doorknobs and stuff. But other than that, if you're washing your hands a lot, like I wasn't really coming in contact with that many people, but obviously it applies for, and not everyone can walk to work in Boston. So I get it, but it sucks.
Right. Yeah, that's a bummer. And then you're in Beantown, huh? We hate it. New Yorkers hate Beantown. And
that is a fact.
I live in New York, so it's okay. I have no allegiances.
Now, Lauren, you recently came to New York and we got brunch, and that was super fun, but it kind of ended on a weird note. This was so interesting. So in New York, a common thing, I mean, I've never seen this living in Arizona, is that you can like leave your luggage at the hotel so that you can go enjoy the city and then go back and get it.
You stayed at a hotel in Casa Grande?
We did have a hotel in Casa Grande. Thank you. We had a couple.
Danny, you can do that everywhere.
Yeah,
I've never done that. My parents never did that. This is not a thing we Vegas did. I thought it was a New York thing.
No.
No?
No.
All right, look, guys. I haven't left my house since March 8th, so let's go easy on me.
Of 2003, apparently.
That New York has the worst baggage storage at hotels because I think that's where you're probably going with that. And I've never had to wait that long for a freaking bag to come out of the like concierge desk.
Right. So we got to the hotel and your friend was catching a bus, which for the listeners who haven't had the terrible misfortune of having to catch a bus in New York City, you have two options. You can go to the Port Authority bus terminal, which is definitely the worst place. I would definitely rather just have coronavirus than go to the Port Authority bus terminal once.
Well, I think the two are synonymous, to be honest.
That's true. 100% of people. That's what they should show on the map is Greyhound, Port Authority bus terminal, Greyhound buses. Those should be distinct countries on the coronavirus tracker. But the second option is 11th Ave for whatever reason. They're like, oh, yeah, just pick everyone up, by the warehouses in the middle of nowhere. And so your friend couldn't get her luggage and then she had to go all the way over there. So she just left. She left without her luggage.
Wait, how did she get it back?
We had to take it to her apartment in Boston.
Heroes.
Shit. Yeah, you guys are heroes.
Well, guys, we got one heck of a juicy situation. We're going to start off with AITA for kicking my roommate out after he violated my towels by you. ThrowAwayA-fckbrad. I, 24F, live in a 2-bed, 2-bath apartment. And 4 months ago, Brad, 26M, moved in. The past 4 months has been weird, confusing, slightly scary, and fucking insane. But yesterday is the day that beats it all. I got home to my roommate Brad stuffing all of my towels. He grabbed all of mine because, like a man, he only has one constantly moist and dirty towel. In black garbage bags. You see, Brad has a online side hustle going, and apparently one of his weirdo clients asked him to record himself unceremoniously manhandling himself with towels. Since he was paying, Brad obliged. Brad planned on having all my towels washed and then sneaking it back into my towel cupboard, but obviously me coming home earlier than expected ruined everything. Brad thinks I was an ass for kicking him out without notice. AITA.
Okay, first of all, what is manhandling?
The OP added, to make sure you really understand, Brad fucked my towels. I came home to him stuffing my jizz-filled towels in trash bags. But hey, he planned on washing it before returning.
What?
Yeah, I definitely got that. I didn't read manhandling that way.
I mean, usually manhandling just means like you're being a little rough.
Yeah, I think that's all that means. But yeah, I definitely...
No, obviously if you're doing something on an OnlyFans involving towels, you're jacking off into the towel.
You're right. Record himself unceremoniously manhandling himself. Yeah, that's
how much did he get paid to do that?
Probably not very much. I mean, the OnlyFans, I've seen a couple of these accounts on Twitter. Weirdly, some people on Twitter have these, and then it's like, I think it's like $5 a month is normal, It's kind of like the Patreon.
Hey.
Should I work for you guys?
Danny, you should start an OnlyFans.
I think I should just put nudes up on our Patreon, Sarah. I think, Lauren, would you be happy with a Patreon customer if there were nudes on there?
I don't think I've ever gone on there, so sure, it's fine.
Whisper M is the top Facebook comment. She writes, you kick someone out over towels, YTA, they're towels, TOWELS. Oh no, she wrote towels. Very hard to do.
Thank you.
Wash them. It's not like they haven't met your butthole a time or 5,000.
I'm honestly not in disagreement just because, yes, the roommate was a total, creep, but, I don't think you can really evict someone for that. Kick him out for the night, but, I don't think you can go and change all the locks. You might get in trouble with the law for an illegal eviction.
I was like, why not just say, buy me new towels?
True. Yeah, those are his towels now. But I wouldn't want to live with that guy either.
Yeah, that's true.
Just lock up your room. Lock up the towels.
Daniel P., I think, agrees with you. He writes, NTA, but I think you broke the law.
Could be.
Fish S, Brad is TA for not giving you a cut of the dirty towel video dollars. Come on, Brad. You got to pay to play.
To be honest, yeah, you got to get new towels and the towel suppliers should get a cut.
I think so. That's the prop budget. I mean, that's part of the expenses of the production.
Prop budget.
Wait, so when they were going into the garbage bag, was he going to throw them away, or that's how he transports them to wash them?
That's true. Why don't you have a laundry bag or a hamper, you weirdo?
Well, I think because he, did ejaculate, if I may, into the towels, he sought to use something he could throw away when he was done.
Then he should have just once.
You can still, I don't get why you wouldn't just put it in a laundry bag.
Because a laundry bag is, it's a textile. It can absorb some of the bodily fluids.
I mean, speaking as someone who's thrown many a jizz towel into a laundry bag, you can just wash the laundry bag. It's just not that serious.
I don't know. This guy's probably an animal.
It's true. I mean, yeah, I just feel like you look mad sketch shoving something into black garbage bags.
It's also like, what about just, I mean, why a towel? Like, why is that what this guy's into?
Like whoever's paying for it.
Like, what kind of person is like, yeah, do the thing that really gets me off. Yeah, into the towel. Like, what?
That reminds me of who do we just have on? Jordan, who is selling the cum rags. Maybe this is Jordan.
Yeah, I actually thought about Jordan during this. You're absolutely right. What's his website? It's thecumrags.com. That was our guest, Jordan Raybold. He made cum rags that actually say cum rags on them, kind of in the OxyClean font.
I honestly thought that was a joke. I didn't realize that was a real product.
It's a real product, and I think my favorite joke still to this day is that you can buy one cum rag for $12, and you can buy all three of the variety for $25, and you can buy 69 cum rags for $420.69. That's fun.
I was just doing the math. That is a considerable amount of savings if you want 69 towels.
A huge amount of savings.
Like $63 of savings.
No, I mean, it's a great deal. If you want 69 cum rags, I mean, they are really cutting you a great deal there because they're $12 a piece. So what's 420 divided by 70? I don't know, 5 or some shit, 6. So yeah, it's half price. It's a steal.
Amazing. Brad and Jordan.
What a great deal. So Lauren, what's your towel situation? You got nice towels at home or what?
Well, I thought I did. And then my mom came to visit and she was like, what the hell is this? And then she bought me some new towels.
That is so real.
Such a mom move.
I always think I live in a pretty nice lifestyle until my parents come to visit.
Alicia T writes, YTA, wash your damn towels and get over it. I don't know. It's pretty violating.
I wouldn't get over it at all. Like,
if somebody like jizzed on my computer, I would like, and didn't break it. Like, it's just very violating. It's like, no, don't jizz on my things, dude.
Yeah.
What else is he doing in the apartment that you haven't caught him doing yet?
Yeah,
that's
seriously.
a valid point. What else has he violated? Eek.
Eco S writes, NTA, F that guy, F his lack of boundaries, F him causing mistrust in your house. Think of what he could have done to your toothbrush previously. Well,
I'd rather not.
I mean, I think they're reaching. I don't think this guy is a total freak, but
I don't know. But it's like, if you're feeling comfortable doing that, then where do your boundaries end? I think the toothbrush is like a bit much, but it's worth thinking about.
Yeah, he is a threat. He's a threat to your safety. I actually have a question. This is not really related to the situation, but I think in general, and I'm reading into this because Courtney_5000 said on Reddit, well, that's enough internet for me today. And my theory is that, you know, women don't really like to hear about guys masturbating. And I think the same is true about men, or it's true about me, actually. I don't know if it's true about men, but I don't really like, I like to hear what you masturbate to. I'm more interested in that, but like, I don't want to hear a masturbation story.
I mean, there's no good story.
Exactly.
Like, what do you mean?
Exactly. It's like, there's just no reason to say it. Like, there's no reason to say I masturbated today. It's like, why? It's bodily functions. It's like, I don't need to know that you took a shit today either. Exactly. It's not hot. No, not to me. What do you think, Lauren?
About what?
About Chowder Kidney says.
Chowder Kidney.
Wait, did your mom listen to this podcast?
No, I told my parents not to listen to it anymore because I'm like, I can't censor myself, guys. It is what it is.
Yeah, they kept calling Danny.
They'd call me all riled up because they've been arguing with me while I'm saying my views. You know what I mean? They're arguing with the program, and then I'm like, I don't know why you're all riled up. I didn't do shit. That's so funny. Like, they think that you did the stuff that we're talking about. No, but they're just, you know, it's like when they're listening to it, it's like they're taking what I'm saying personally. You know, they're taking like I'm arguing with them, and I'm like, guys, that's happening in your head. That's hilarious. Yeah, Chowder Kidney writes, NTA, holy shit, he was gonna rub his junk all over your towels and return them to you? What the F? Kick that man out so fast. I'm actually kind of divided on this, guys. I don't know if this is so straightforward. I think kicking him out is really far. That's like a brutal thing to do, especially in these Corona times. I think it's brutal. So, okay, the thing is, too, with this episode, I think, like, we have to divorce coronavirus from the situations because we don't know when these happened. I do. I just looked it up, Sarah. This was submitted 7 days ago, which was, I believe, definitely into the beginning of the coronavirus situation.
Okay.
Where you're at.
However, I will also say that you can't, if they're both leasing this apartment, she doesn't really have the authority necessarily to kick someone out. And like people deal with psycho roommates all the time, and you just have to like deal with it. Like make him buy you new towels, get a lock on your door. Like you kind of just have to deal with these things. You may not be able to kick them out.
Yeah, it depends on like, is his name on the lease? Does she own the place and he's like renting from her?
But even then, like you have to probably give 30 days notice.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I don't think does the legality determine the morality? I just think that it's a brutal thing to do.
Kind of, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree with the legality. I just don't think it's all that relevant. I mean, I think it's brutal to kick someone out, like in a serious way, like get the hell out. I think it would be fair to give them a warning, or fair to say, hey, in 30 days, you got to go. That was a deal breaking 1 strike rule, kind of brutal. But in this case, since it's sexual, I'm like, 1 strike rule is kind of legit.
I kind of want to know more why like the past 4 months have been weird, confusing, slightly scary, and fucking insane.
True.
But then part of me is like, okay, if they've all been insane for 4 months and yesterday was the straw that broke the camel's back, like this to me is not that wild that I'm like, what else was going on before? Guys just don't have enough towels. Like this is an objective fact.
So this is about towels. See,
so I think he just didn't have enough towels. I think he's really sketch. And he was like, I'm just going to use it real quick and like wash it before she gets back, which is fucked up. And again, super sketch. But like, to me, I don't see necessarily that he was like trying to violate her.
I mean, I've been a crappy roommate, like eating like my roommate's food. And then after the fact, been like, oh shit, I'm sorry, but I just replace it and no harm, no foul. So,
right. So I think he thought that was going to happen, but she came home early, not saying that it's right.
I could give you info, but I'm kind of stuck in everyone sucks here.
I think I'm definitely info, but I do think everyone sucks here. Like, because again, I think if you're going to kick someone out, you have to give them some kind of notice.
Absolutely.
And I think if she had said, okay, end of the month, like you're out of here, then I'd be like, not the asshole.
That sounds good to me.
There it is. Well, Lauren, thank you so much for doing the call-in show.
Tell us how you feel.
It's a good way to pass 30 minutes when I can't really leave the house.
Well, we'll take that as a compliment. Should we? I don't know.
Enough.
We're joined now by Frank. Frank, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you were telling me that you are a prosecutor.
Yeah, I'm a criminal prosecutor.
Criminal prosecutor.
That's
interesting.
fun.
Only criminals, huh? No good guys.
Only criminals. Yeah.
I mean,
and do you enjoy doing that? Do you enjoy? I mean, we enjoy calling people assholes, so you must enjoy calling people guilty.
Yeah, I mean, I think in a lot of ways our jobs are very similar. You know, it's looking at the situation and seeing who's in the wrong. And you know, I wouldn't call them assholes in court, but similar ideas.
Do you think in your head ever like, this guy's a real asshole?
I don't think I can comment on that, but
you can neither confirm nor deny. Wow, what a lawyer. I love it.
he has to plead the fifth.
Exactly.
Now, Sarah has a true crime podcast. Sarah, do you have any questions for prosecution? God knows that you are one to accuse prosecution of chasing the wrong man.
Well, you know, I just go based off what the documentary tells me to think. What do you think is like the most common misconception that people have about your job?
I mean, I think people tend to think that our job is to just go after people and put them in jail. And it really is to try to get the best outcome possible and, make sure that people who should be held accountable are held accountable, but those who aren't. And I think a lot of the true crime documentaries don't really make us look very good. So
they sure don't.
People always hate the police, F the police. Black Lives Matter is very oriented at the police. But, does the prosecutor exert a lot of influence over who would go to jail unjustly or not?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of players in every case who kind of has a different role in that. Prosecutors, judges, police. And I think there's a lot of cases where people in those roles are acting badly, and that's a problem. And they're not doing their job the way they're supposed to and really failing at what they're supposed to do. But if you have good people in those positions doing what they're supposed to do, I think it can really do a lot of good.
Do you get what emotion do you feel when you put someone away who deserves it?
I mean, it always sucks to put someone away.
Interesting.
That's kind of where things got to. It should always be the last resort. should be the thing that's needed to keep the community safe, to keep an individual safe, or just is called for very much by the actions, but it's never good. We never really get a win because a terrible thing still happened, and
oh my God,
that happens to everyone.
On the one hand, I'm like, that is such a responsible answer. But on the other hand, I'm like, God, that is really a dark way. Like, your job has no good days. It's like, well, something horrible happened.
I mean, to give it the other side, to be a little less doom and gloom, it does feel good to help the victim, make sure the victim feels heard, have them know that people listened, and to protect people and protect the victim and the community.
Really excited to hear how you handled this situation, which is incredibly legal. I mean, this, folks, is so freaking legal. It is, of course, AITA for responding sarcastically when offered minimum wage for teaching cello lessons from a wealthy family friend. You ever litigate a case like this?
I'm actually in the cello crimes unit, so this is perfect.
I hear they're doing a new Law and Order spinoff of that.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really something.
But you, Chris _R, I, 23M, am a college student who lives close to home, and I'm a cellist. I've made a bit of money on the side playing at weddings and churches and the occasional local orchestra group. My parents have some friends who are incredibly wealthy and have a young family. A few weeks ago, I was at my parents' house, and mother of said family approaches me and asks me if I would teach her son to play the cello. I accepted. Then she says she'll give me $7.25 for an hour lesson every week. Now, for those of you who have never paid for a music lesson, I paid my music teacher $40 an hour, who I'll admit is a significantly better musician than I. So I said, maybe I'd babysit your kid for minimum wage, but definitely not a music lesson. Anyways, she gets really upset, but doesn't say anything to me directly and complains to my parents. They go on to me about how she didn't know any better and I shouldn't be a prick to their friend and how I wasn't a damn pro at the cello, that I shouldn't expect a ton of money since I'm not that reputable. Like, I know I'm an amateur and all, but she drove to her house in a effing Tesla AITA.
Lot going on here.
Lot going on. On the one hand, let's just start off with what this is, which is a low ball. Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people go, oh, it's a low ball. They're trying to get the best price possible. That's why they're rich. They low ball.
Listen, yeah, I mean, the concept of rich people cheap is not like a new stereotype. Like, there are rich people who are just cheap, and apparently these are some of those people. So I don't know, to me, like, you can read into this any way you want, but like, I didn't really read into it with a particular amount of malice. And I just kind of read it as like, these people are either ignorant or cheap or both. This person probably could have just negotiated without like making it into an attack.
That is a great point. I think there was a better way out, but is it a little bit rude to just even offer something so low? What say you, Frank?
I mean, I think you can offer whatever you want, as long as if the person comes back with a reasonable price, you don't reject that. I think there's, as you said, it's a low ball, and I mean, for the OP, this just seems like a bad negotiation tactic because they made a sarcastic comment and then got nothing, where they could have come back with a higher price and then gotten something maybe more reasonable for what they wanted. But I think, shoot your shot if you're the people asking for offering the $7.25.
Yeah,
I'm a big shoot your shot type person. These people obviously shot their lowball shot, probably anticipating that OP would come back with a reasonable figure. Like $7.25 is nothing. It's a McDonald's meal. I think it was not nice to lowball him that much.
No, it wasn't nice. There we go. That's more what I'm thinking. I mean, look, isn't there an element of seniority here? I mean, this is a college student being spoken to by a mother, and then the mother is going to lowball. Like, why is she doing like run and gun freaking deal making? Like, why can't she just offer a normal price?
What is run and gun deal making?
Just like, why is she fucking lowballing? What is this? This isn't Craigslist, and I'm not trying to buy a freaking, Camaro. Why is there a game here? It's
That's
rude.
Capitalism, baby.
Yeah, like, why? Why is this something to be so capitalist about? It's just a little insane.
Yeah, I guess it would depend on how much they really knew what a reasonable price was. You know, I mean, the OP says $40 an hour is probably higher than he should get because he's not as good as his own teacher. But if they know 725 is insanely low, then especially for a family friend, it's probably kind of rude to come with that. But if they're legitimately don't know prices and are just trying to get a sense of what's reasonable, then it's probably not as bad.
Right. Yeah. They could just not know. She could just be stupid or ignorant, or they don't have it. They're one of those families that has no art or music in it. So they're just like, what? It's the same as all the others. It's
also, I will say, like, honestly, some people have a real like disdain for like creativity, and
Absolutely.
like a lot of people just don't see the value in anything artistic.
They don't. And it disgusts me. But you know who doesn't feel that way is our Patreon members. They appreciate art.
Woohoo! Oh, yeah. Also, I wanted to say shouts out to our new Patreon member, Tristan K.
There we go. Welcome to the pod. Yeah, I think what I just don't like about this is like, it doesn't really bother me if the context was different. I think the context is kind of what is annoying. It's just like this view of money. I guess it's like you're saying, it's like not valuing creativity, but also like, look, this is someone who's going to teach your kid music. Like the level of impact that can have is massive. Like, don't you want to pay more? And I guess, Sarah, you really nailed it, because it does boil back down to that. It's like they don't value it. They don't actually think that being a cellist is valuable. So it must be the minimum.
Right.
Don S. writes, NTA, she should be asking your rate, not deciding it for you, but you should have explained it to her the way you explained it in your story. Quote, I paid $40 an hour to learn. Now, at my skill and experience level as a teacher, that's a bit high, but 25 seems fair. That would have been a reasonable thing to say.
I mean, I think a reasonable thing to say would have just been like, well, actually, my going rate is X. Like,
yeah, I don't think you need to invoke the cost of your education. Do you ever do that as a prosecutor, Frank?
Oh, all the time I say to the judge, on this much, I make this much, so you should listen to me.
Murda F says, NTA, glad to know your worth. She sounds like a privileged child tattling to your parents like that. Yeah, I mean, I don't think she had a right to complain. It was like, you kind
I don't think it's like, the thing is, I don't think it's tattling when you're like talking to your friends and peers. Like, there's no, like, tattling, there's like a power dynamic to me involved, and like, this is not that.
Yeah, I mean, do you think she said it to her parents more like, your daughter kind of snapped at me, like not really being
venting.
Yeah, venting, or just being like, hey, what was that about? Because they're probably that stupid. I really think OP is, or the mother in this story is just so stupid. They don't know that that's an insane price to offer.
Yeah, I kind of think it's just out of touch.
Yes.
And also, like, okay, even if you're giving someone a lowball offer, like, you don't expect them to kind of turn around with this snotty remark.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it was that snotty. Maybe I'd babysit your kid for minimum wage, but definitely not a music lesson. I don't think it's that bad. I guess it's kind of shitting. Somebody said that they're like, well, as a babysitter, I'm a little offended.
I mean, I think it's like a little snotty. Like, again, you could have just been like, either no thank you, or this is my going rate. Not like, oh, well, maybe I'd babysit them, but not a music lesson. Like, just say what your rate is.
That's true.
That also seems like a bad offer, because I think babysitters can make a lot more than $7.25. So
oh, hell yeah. $7.25 an hour was what I made in like my federal work study job in college, when I was like swiping cards at the gym entrance and watching Netflix.
Joe C. writes, NTA, learning the cello to the point of being able to teach is not worth minimum wage. Is that true? I guess maybe that is true, because can you even earn minimum wage if you're barely good enough to teach? That statement might be factual, but that doesn't mean that you should pay people so little. There's a difference there. If you could play cello as good as this girl, okay, you have a service that you can offer, and I don't know that you're going to be able to earn minimum wage. Well, the cello itself is female. I don't know if you're going to be able to pull that through, because how much money is there? What are you going to give? If you're charging $40 an hour and you're doing 7 lessons, you got to do like 7 lessons a week to do $7.25 an hour.
I mean, this isn't a full-time job. You can't evaluate it based on those standards.
Oh no, but that's what I'm saying. It's not worth minimum wage because the minimum wage translated to an annual value. Like I don't know that learning to play cello is a good investment. I advise against it.
Okay, I wasn't sure what point you were trying to make, but I understand now.
Good. I think it is a beautiful instrument. Whenever people play cello on the subway, I will give them $1 or $2.
Who the hell lugs a cello on the subway? That's a lot of work.
Well, they go in the station, and I don't know if it's a cello or a violin. I don't know if they're, I don't know if it's a flute, but it's an instrument and it's beautiful. That's all I know. It's the morning. I'm like, fuck it. Here's money. Thank you.
Okay.
I would give them exactly $725, weirdly enough.
Wow. That's heroic. That's a lot of money. Lindsay Q writes, YTA, if she really didn't know the going rate rather than being rude in your response to her, you could have kindly explained. It seems like if you had kindly explained the going rate, what you're typically compensated for, she likely would have been willing to negotiate. Think so. Top Reddit comment, Pickled Space Hog. Even babysitters get more than that. To me, seems like she's one of those people who is out of touch with reality. I can buy 2 gallons of milk with $7. 2, she's paying you for your time, not a product. Definitely NTA. That was a lowball offer. I didn't really get the milk part there. That seems like a lot of milk. Me either.
I was like, if anything, that enforces that $7 is a lot of money.
That seems more generous. If someone was like, hey, will you teach my kid for 2 gallons of milk an hour? I'm like, holy shit, what an offer.
when really if they had done the analogy of like, I'll pay you for an hour of work in like a McDonald's Happy Meal, you'd be like, well, fuck no. Although you do get the toy.
Right. Toys.
Yeah, I do a lot of those McDonald's toys.
Honestly, I got one last summer, like, drunkenly got a Happy Meal. It's great. The toy was very fun. It was a Toy Story 4 toy.
They're durable. McDonald's toys last forever. It's incredible.
Yep, I probably still have those like mini Beanie Babies that we used to get.
So I think on the issue of AITA for responding sarcastically when offered minimum wage for teaching cello lessons from a wealthy family friend, I think I got to go no assholes here.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was rude and obtuse the way she asked, but I think it was kind of rude and obtuse the way she responded, and I think they basically cancel each other out. But I don't really think it's an everyone sucks here. It's not that bad. I mean,
it's not that serious, like relatively, but I try not to be relative in my decisions. I would kind of go YTA. I just think it's like, okay, who was wrong? It could have been a decent education moment with a little bit of like tact. It's not like, oh, YTA, you're a terrible person, but it's like, next time, just don't do that.
Frank, where are you in all this?
I think I'm at everyone sucks here.
Wow, this is fun.
I think none of them are incredibly bad people, but in the situation itself, they both kind of are the asshole. Because thinking about it more, $725 is insanely low for, like, if you're doing one cello lesson a week to come there, prep the lesson, all that for less than $8. I mean, I don't think a person could really expect that to be a good price. And then there's just no reason to respond like a dick. So
That's true. I could honestly go ESH because this person like is either extremely ignorant of how much things cost or came in a little insultingly low. So I could switch to ESH.
I don't know, prosecutor. Is it really so bad to offer someone minimum wage? I mean, look, it's a rude thing, but it's like...
The thing is, minimum wage in a lot of states is higher than that.
So they're in a state where that's the min. I mean, give me a break. Is this
maybe?
Minimum wage is when you're working many more hours. This is, you make $725 for 1 hour of a lesson. That means you got to get there, get home, prep the lesson.
Right. It's like you're losing money on that. I just Googled minimum wages. Let's see I mean, a lot of states have raised it above $725, but like, it doesn't matter because we don't know where this is. But yeah, you'd be losing money if you're getting for 1 hour, you're not even getting paid $8.
I agree. I mean, no, I think it's a shitty low ball. I think it's a brutal low ball, but I don't think that everyone sucks here. I just don't. I think it's like a terrible offer, and that's the worst thing I could say is that the mother gave a terrible offer and she's older and she should have known better. But then I'm like, then I gotta also, it's an everyone sucks here. Then I also gotta call her an asshole just for being shitty at business. I can't. Are we gonna draw on this or what?
I guess we can draw. I mean, I'm with the prosecutor here.
I mean, I feel wrong going against the prosecutor, but I just don't think this hits
That's
the bar.
not a good reason.
No? You don't like my reason?
Stand by your convictions, Danny.
I don't think it's that bad. I think that she didn't do anything that bad.
I definitely don't think anyone did anything that bad. I mean, I think it's a very light everyone sucks here.
Yeah, the stakes are low, but that doesn't mean I can't examine it as if there are stakes.
I mean, everyone does kind of suck if I think of it that way. These people do suck here.
I just think about this and I'm like, again, I would just like not say that to my parents' friends.
Yeah.
Like, it is a bit snotty. I'm sorry.
All right. I'll drop the bullshit. Defense rest. Everyone sucks here.
Case adjourned.
Well, Frank, I feel much more official. I think the podcast has like leveled up or something, having had a prosecutor on the show. Do you have any other nuggets to offer our listeners?
No, I mean, I think just listen to the two of you because you guys know what you're talking about.
You think we know what we're talking about? Do you think that if you're really good at identifying assholes, that Sarah and I could be pretty good prosecutors?
I think you guys should.
I'd be a great prosecutor. Speak for yourself.
All right, Frank. Well, thank you so much, man. We loved having you on the show. We're joined now by Anne in Portland. Anne, how are you tonight?
Not too bad.
So, Anne, you were telling me that you are an HVAC engineer. Did I hear that right?
That's correct.
HVAC, so that's like air conditioning engineering. So you're the one who makes sure that it stays cold.
Precisely. Yeah.
Love it. You know, I'm a huge fan. I need it to be warm. Because I'm from Arizona. I don't like to be cold for a single second of my day.
We can do that too.
Well, we got a juicy situation for you guys here. AITA for not wanting my daughter to marry her cousin by you ThrowAway-474-679. My daughter is planning on getting married very soon. However, I found out last week upon doing research on our family tree that my daughter's fiance is her fifth cousin. I initially didn't know how to break this news to her, but I finally did several days ago. My daughter apparently thought that this is perfectly fine and that she's still going to marry him anyway. I told her that I don't approve of this marriage and that even though I initially agreed to pay for this wedding, I will not be paying for it if she decides to go through with it. We got into a huge fight, which ended with her telling me that she's cutting me out of her life. I honestly don't know what to do. I just don't want my daughter to marry her freaking cousin, AITA.
Fifth cousin seems distant.
I don't even know what fifth cousin is. Let's Google it.
Yeah.
Fifth
I
cousin
don't
is...
even know really the difference between my second cousin and a cousin removed.
Yeah.
I don't know that either.
I looked this up once a year. I think a cousin removed has to do with generation. It's exhausting.
It's okay. Literally, I just Googled fifth cousin, and then the top suggested question is, are fifth cousins really related?
That's
and
hilarious.
The root.com says no, it just means they did not inherit. It says when you get out past fifth cousin level, the odds of sharing any DNA are less than 5%.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at a chart called a consanguinity relation chart. That's almost certainly not how you say that. But there is...
Oh, I see that one. It looks like a multi-level marketing.
It does. It looks like an MLM. It is. It's the original MLM family. And there's actually no fifth cousin even on the chart. And the chart goes all the way to fourth cousin.
Great. Okay, yeah, that's crazy. Also, Danny, can you tell the story? Your story? I feel like it's irrelevant.
My girlfriend is my cousin, and it does shock people when I say it that way, but she's actually, I don't even know if you could put it into a diagram. It's that we share a cousin. We actually met at my cousin's wedding, and it was her cousin's wedding too. And so we have this family member, and one day we finally sat down and I made a chart. And so the kind of kicker of this is that there is someone who we both call cousin, and they do have DNA from each of us, but it's from different sides. So this one person has DNA from my family and her family, But if I kill that cousin, then her and I aren't related in any real way.
Oh, so you know what you have to do.
Yeah, I know what I have to do, and she's young now. I'm gonna wait till she gets a little older so she can appreciate having her life taken from her. But no, she's a sweetheart. It's just awkward when we hang out because we're both like, "What's up, cuzzo?" And I'm like,
That is slightly weird.
It is slightly weird, and I have a chart. As you know, I made a chart, and I show people the chart, and they look at the chart, and they go, "You're not related." And I go, "I know, we don't share any blood, so it's no big deal."
Do you guys watch 30 Rock?
I've watched it.
There was like one episode in one of the earlier seasons where Liz Lemon like meets this really attractive guy who's successful and whatnot. And then, then that's like never happens for her. And then at the end of the episode, it turns out that they have the same great aunt or something. And then so that was like unacceptable according to Liz Lemon. And then the hot guy was like, if we were third cousins, it's okay. I think that's kind of what is relevant here. Just if they're okay with it, and fifth seems super distant. So
how would you even find that out? It's like you'd have to have like a great something grandparent in common, and like how many names do you know? I know my great grandparents' names, and I think that's really it. Maybe great.
I mean, you'd have to go just to get to the third cousin tier. You have to go you have to really document the whole fucking family. Like it's a lot of work to even bring this charge.
I feel like this dad was just really looking for a reason to not like this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good reason there. I mean, she's cutting him out of her life. Yeah, so it is a guy.
Yeah, sorry for interrupting. He also didn't find this out until they're already engaged and they're about to get married. So it's kind of like if you'd had this information on deck, you would have realized it sooner. So
true. Mm-hmm. The commenters agree. Kevin H says, fifth cousin is not a big deal. Matt H, YTA, fifth cousin might as well be unrelated. Do a little research. I mean, come on. If you're not closely related enough to someone for it to be hot sexually, then you're not related.
Goodbye.
Hannah S says, I looked it up and fifth cousins are so far removed, they share less than 5% of the same DNA. Yeah, don't we share like 70% of our DNA with bananas or something like that?
I know we share 98% with chimps. Also, by this logic, am I more likely to share more DNA with a random person on the street? 5% seems really low.
Yeah, I don't really know how that works.
That's true.
I guess there's probably it's 5% of the DNA that matters because we're 2% away from a chimp. That means you're closer related to a chimp than a fifth cousin.
I can see that, given my family.
Mandy H says, ask 3 people if they can name their great grandparent, and if any of them say yes, you're still the asshole. Sarah couldn't find a single not the asshole on all of Reddit. Top Reddit comment, Gracie Parker says, YTA, you agreed to help pay for the wedding. Fifth cousin is basically nothing, and they were already in love and getting married super soon before finding this out. Were you looking for a reason not to like her fiance or something? Sounds like it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you got no problem with a fifth cousin, Anne?
I don't think so.
It's just I don't know. I don't even really have a problem with someone, being with their first cousin. Because who cares? If you love each other, then fuck it. It's not, I've looked this up. Don't ask me why, but you could totally have sex with your first cousin and you're not going to get mutant babies. You have to do it 3 or 4 times. That's why it happens when it's
What do you mean you have to do it 3 or 4 times? Your kids and then.
Yes, exactly. The kids and then the grandkids. And that's why certain cultures get really bad problems because the culture is incestual. But if there's if you're in a weird situation and you wake up one day and you want to love your cousin, then you might be my grandfather. Actually, you are. But
wow.
There's nothing wrong with that. Rest in peace, Abuelo Jesus. Come on.
I honestly now I just want to go on a hunt to find my fifth cousin.
You've got to fuck your fifth cousin. It's like the final boss. And any other things to add on Cousin Gate? I think we all agree on this one.
No, I think that's it. If the daughter and her fiance are happy, then they should be happy.
100%. So I think we all agree, AITA for not wanting my daughter to marry her cousin. I think we would say you are the asshole because fifth cousin, that's crazy.
Big time.
Well, Anne, thank you so much for joining us. Do you have anything else you want to tell us about Portland?
Hopefully we all bounce back on the other side, make it through this.
Hey, we'll all bounce back, and and while we're bouncing back, we're going to be enjoying HVAC, a great technology, I'll say. Thank you for engineering it.
Yeah.
All right, Anne. Well, thanks so much for coming on the show. We'll see you in the Facebook group. All right, guys, that concludes part 1 of the AITA call-in show. We'll be back next Monday morning with part 2. Thank you so much, and I hope everyone is doing well in the coronavirus situation. My best to you and yours, and we'll see you next Monday morning.